This is Trabr. We're creating the technology and the ecosystem for everything building. We're creating a market network which boasts a marketplace and a mobile-first, cloud-based suite of project control tools for builders, consumers, trades, suppliers, for everybody. All on the smartphone, all remote, all mobile, all for building. This is Trabr, and this is a building conversation. Tony Huxley here from Trabr Limited. I'm joined today by Gareth Evans, the owner of BMC Blue Chip
BC Mac Blue Chip Maintenance and Construction. Yeah.
Glad to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Tony.
I appreciate you making the time available to talk to us today. So tell me, let me ask you, I mean, it's probably a pertinent question in some respects, but a little bit challenging if you've only had the company going for a couple of years. But just looking back over your career in building, what's the thing that you're most passionate about in your role as a builder?
Yeah, look, I guess the main thing is the client, making the client happy, and as a builder, you need to quite often have a lot of conversations that they're not always going to meet eye to eye, right?
Yeah.
So if you can come out the other end and you've got a happy client, then that's pretty much high on the list. I'd say another thing as a builder is apprentices. You get the chance to teach some of your apprentices or share your knowledge with all the boys, and it's I find that quite satifying as well. I think that's a good part of the job. Yeah.
Pride.
Yeah, I like it. Like some
watching the team grow.
Trying to get that common sense factor across to the young ones. Man, that's a challenge.
We've all been there. we've all
that's a challenge. Far out, but you've got to keep at it. So
yeah, the customer's number one.
Yeah, number one for sure. Yeah.
So listen, it's we're getting in towards the latter part of the year. It is 2020, and apart from the fact that most days it's felt like an alternate universe.
Yeah.
You couldn't have written a script for this year if you tried.
No.
How different for you for Blue Chip Maintenance and Construction, and for you? How much different today is life for you and the team compared to, say, this time last year?
If you're talking in terms of JobKeeper and all those programs, this time last year I was a much smaller company.
Any of the above and all of the above.
Yeah, so I'm not getting the 30% decrease in what I was doing last year because I was a much smaller company.
Yep.
Back then I only had 2 employees and now I've got 4 or whatever,
Well
so
done.
that whole scheme didn't really work. I mean, I'm getting the half price apprentices, which is great from the government. That's awesome. That helps. But in terms of work, I've had a couple of quiet months, and I think everyone has in the construction industry in some way or another.
Yep.
But I think when the old COVID numbers in New South Wales dropped off back to no community transmission, and that coupled with the 25 grand incentive from the government to do a reno, I think that actually just kicked things off again about that time, to be honest, only 2 months ago, roughly. So we're really busy at the moment.
So those couple of quiet months you touched on, were they sort of depths of winter stuff, or were they?
That was probably that's when there was community transmission in New South Wales.
Yeah.
Melbourne,
so
Victoria was shut down.
Yeah.
Everyone was a bit worried about what's going on and what's going to happen.
And we all stayed at home for 6 weeks.
And everyone stayed at home, and everyone's kind of just no one's on the public transport, and it was just weird times, eh?
No question.
But I think we're sort of coming out of that at the moment. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow and if it all goes bust again, but at the moment, let's just go for it.
Couldn't agree more than that.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Europe and you see some of the numbers over there, it's just horrendous.
Oh, yeah.
Frightening.
Crazy.
But then down here in New Zealand, we seem to be, either it's been well managed for us, or we're all putting our shoulders to the wheel and making it happen. But
yeah.
Some of the statistics over there are just extraordinary.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the only potentially worrying thing for the industry at the moment might be, I'm starting to get a little bit of, we don't have this in stock and we're waiting for this.
Supply chain.
Supply chain might be potentially an issue.
Yeah. Well, I guess particularly if it's coming out of Europe or Asia.
Well, that's right. I mean, even stuff from New Zealand's not getting through. I don't know if it's the ports or the supply, or I don't know where the breakage is there. But coming across a few issues.
And most of our lumber comes from there. So
yeah, that's right. So look, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. Nobody knows what's going to happen next year, right? It's just everyone's scratching their head going, let's just go with it, I guess.
This time compared to this time last year, you've definitely
made much better.
Good steps forward.
Yeah,
which is
for sure.
Well done.
I mean, apart from those couple of quiet months where I had the boys mowing the lawns, but we're back on again. So yeah, it's good.
Touch wood that it keeps going that way.
Yeah.
So listen, from the people that you engage with across the industry, have you got a view on what the consensus is about the prospects for the building space?
Look, I mean, my contacts seem to be getting busier. People like Sparkies, plumbers. Plumbers are always busy.
Yep.
Sparkies, I know they've been a bit quiet. Some of them I've been talking to, but I think they're bouncing back a little bit now as well. Painters are busy. I don't know many people in the commercial side of building.
Yep.
But or the specky homes or project home business. But in terms of the little individual builders and the trades around that sort of scene seems to be picking up. So, and
from your own perspective, without sort of digging too deep or prying, how's your pipeline into next year? Is it looking strong?
So, look, I've got a couple of things on the boil. I mean, I'm part of one of those advertising companies that you pay the credits for the lead. Yep. And they, when I mentioned, that time a couple of months ago when everything was a bit dead, there wasn't anything coming through on the leads. But now it's consistently, one or two that I might want to go for a week, which is a good sign. Yep. The things like Hipages and Oneflare and things like that. So it seems to be picking up. For sure. Yeah, and the quality of of those leads? Oh, look, you're always going to get tyre kickers and all that sort of stuff. Yep. But I've won work out of those platforms. Yeah, for sure. Cool. And just when you brought it up, so I'm going to ask you about it. The work generation or the lead generation beyond those sort of tools, are you doing anything else sort of Google-wise or pay-per-click or social even? Not really. Yeah. Not really. A lot of it for me is I'm trying to work on the word, the word of mouth thing more than anything. I should be doing Facebook. I should be doing all these other social media platforms that I should probably get the apprentices to be doing it for me kind of thing. But I haven't got the time at the moment to do. I haven't got the advertising department. That old chestnut. I'm not paying them enough. So look, I know there's a lot of things I should be doing. I've got a website, but as you know, it's straight out of the box, and I don't think it's even got my phone number on it. I need to spend some time on marketing for sure. As long as you're getting the leads, it's the main thing. That's it. Okay, that's all good insight. Listen, thanks very much for joining us, Gareth. I really appreciate your time. No problem. Thanks so much. Okay, thank you. Good on you. Cheers.